Hey everyone, and welcome back. It is I, Nathan Bonner, the creator of the Indavo series, a space adventure animated series that has been created solely by me. I've got some very wonderful voice actors who've been voicing my characters and saying all my crazy words. They're truly great. Wonderful people. Amazing. Great talents. I'm also the artist of The Big Muddy Monster, the true life tales of Murfreesboro, Illinois' very own cryptid, a very Bigfoot-esque creature. So, what I have here today is on this live stream is I usually make promo pictures, posters for each episode. And these are posted on social media, and I also make a landscape one and post that as the cover, quote unquote, air quotes, on YouTube for each episode. So we're going to do a new one today. So we need to, first, we got the Clip Paste Studio Pro is open. Okay. I've got some guidelines here. This is basically a comic page guidelines already set up here. So we're going to make it about that size. And this is kind of a good idea to keep us all the important stuff in here. Anything that we don't want cut off or anything, we got to keep away from these lines here. And I've already got a pencil layer here, and I already have a pencil set, and I tend to use, weirdly enough, the setting called pencil. And it's at 60 right now. That seems a little bit big. Let's go back down. Okay, so I have already kind of done, let's hit save again, even though I've done absolutely nothing. I've already kind of done in a sketchbook a drawing which I used markers to color, kind of like a rough of, if you will, a pretty tight rough though. And I did two versions, and I've kind of picked the version B, and it will feature Smarth and Selexis, two new characters, and of course some Smarth bots, servants of Smarth, and our heroes being menaced by these guys, I suppose, in some way. And we're going to try and work Ratty and anyone back into this poster too, since they're also in this episode. So anyway, let us begin. Let's get off that yellow color down here and get to a nice black color. And we're going to take a look and see what we've kind of got here. We're going to kind of rough everything in. I think we will go back to 60 actually. We're going to kind of rough everything in, kind of roughly where we're going to have things. Let's see here. Yeah, well, that's going to have to be smaller. Already, this is why we do the roughing. I could always draw her out and then shrink her down and then everything else, but I just kind of like to do as we go. So getting started sometimes is the roughest thing, because you got to establish your scale of how everything's going to work. And establishing scale is very important. And sometimes it can be a little tricky. So let us see what we've got here. It's going to go to here. All right. That's going to be going to do our lines here. And kind of do shoulders to there. Okay. Okay. She's going to go down to right there. Still, this is too big. All right. So what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to scale this down is what we're just going to have to do. All right. Well, screw it. Try to avoid it, but sometimes it can be unavoidable. All right, so we're just going to do the wireframe first. I know some artists just immediately start drawing the character. I am not that good. All right. Okay, so that's going to be our rough area. Let's do a select all, which is Shift A. And we are going to go up to edit, and we can hit scale. There's no hotkey for scale in Clip Paste Studio Pro, which is a little exacerbating. Okay, so we're going to move up here, because we got to keep into mind, let's see, our heroes will be menaced, a little bit more menaced if she's a little bit higher up. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, whoa. There we go, and deselect. Okay, because there are, we're going to also keep a few things in mind here, and that there's got to be a logo right about here. And we'll say Indavo 3, boom. And there's going to be, that's going to be here, and that's going to be here. Okay. And let's see here. redo her torso just a little bit lower. Okay, there. Let's see here, get that into there. Okay, start building out the figure as we go here. Put that line right about there. Go that there, and that about in there. Okay. So my pencils are usually very, very, very. Did I say very? I said very, very rough. Which, you know, that is okay because they're pencils and they're supposed to be. You're kind of feeling your way through the process. Okay. All right. That's not bad. That's not bad. This might have to be shrunk down just a skosh more, but that's not bad so far. All right. Make sure we get something of the musculature showing up here. That's kind of important. We'll tighten this up later. Kind of rough this in as kind of roughly as possible. A lot of this, like from here to here, is going to be black, and here it's going to be black as well. It's keyed in. There will be all detail that I draw will be obliterated, which is what happens when you draw noir comics. Film noir style comics, I should say. But this is not it. But still, I'm not doing any sort of white outline on that. Not going to use that as a cheat, and I'm not going to give that up at all. Alrighty. Alright, so she does have... Don't worry, dear viewer, she's wearing something. Alright, there we go. Actually, not a lot, but something. It's a line I've got to insert into the episode. Ah, she's wearing more, but yet less. Ha 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 ha. Alright, well, who is this character? Okay. Well, I'm drawing here. This is the character of Selexis. She works at Smaller's. She is a... would be the floor show, actually. She is an entertainer, but surprise and shock and everything. She is actually... I don't want to cut these arms going. Let me kind of redo this a little bit tighter. All right. She is also the on this outer arm of the galaxy, the best mercenary enforcer for hire. Her race has incredibly dense muscle tissue, and it's not generally well known that they do. She has been a mercenary for quite some time, but normally she uses her cover as the showgirl, basically, to work for various ne'er-do-wells and sometimes decent people throughout the... If you've got money, she'll work for you. Her moral compass is perhaps a little skewed in that way. But she's red-skinned and has a natural mohawk of blue hair. Because, you know, you got to get that contrasting color thing going on. And she's showed up in a few illustrations that I have over on my DeviantArt account. And I believe I've posted it on Facebook too. You should follow the Indavo Facebook if you haven't already. I should post more there. I've got an Instagram as well that I should probably be posting more on. So very, very busy. But anyway. So, too busy by 7/8. Let's see here. Okay, well. Okay, let's kind of redo that center line since I don't need that to be quite as tight as before. Let's kind of clean up a little bit here. Determine where everything is going to be as far as mouth and whatnot. good. Okay. That in a moment. Go back in closer there. Okay. Let's put this in. Oh yeah, and they don't have navels. I suppose that's probably a callback to Edward Rice Burroughs and his green and red Martian people not having navels because they're born in eggs or something like that. Anyway, homage. So is she an homage to Deja Thor's? Not really. She's not a princess, that's for sure. Princess, royalty of entertainment, perhaps? I don't. That'd probably be a stretch. That would probably be a stretch. Yeah. More than likely, that would probably be a stretch. Okay, let's get in here and get some details. I should also report that currently where I'm at is basically an ice station. Well, a snow station. It's snowing quite heavily. I'm in the middle of that. Here in southern Illinois, we are in the middle of this large winter conflagration that's going on. And currently the snow has turned out to be fine. It was pretty. The flakes were pretty big just a while ago, but they have calmed down quite a bit. But they are supposed to pick back up here in another couple of hours, and that's when the heavy, heavy snow begins. So, fun times to be had by all. Redo those eyes. There we go. These guys that are in the way. Clean up a little bit more. And then over to there. There we go. Menacing look. Ears are different. Didn't want human-esque ears in this series, so no one has them except for our main leads, Indavo and Rachel, who are not actually from Earth, so it doesn't really matter. But I wanted them to kind of be the only kind of pinky humans around, so if we wanted to get there. So that's why we have, blue-skinned aliens, green-skinned aliens, two sets of gray aliens, the Leonids, who are kind of tannish, lion pelty color, golden lion pelt. I don't know what you'd call it. Anyway, but yeah, so just a little bit something different. All right, I'm gonna kind of clean this up a little bit more here. We'll do a little bit more cleanup in the inking phase as well, too. So. Here we go. Oh yeah, she's. We probably will need some detail on these. Yeah, probably will need some detail on her weapons of choice. Perhaps she does have something of a moral compass, as her weapons don't have an outright kill setting. So that's something, I suppose. She usually captures and delivers to clients. And sometimes they do the killing, so, but I suppose. Whatever happens to sleep at night, right? Yeah. Get that pinky out, Eliza. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Actually, these are collapsible. Well, you'll see in a little bit. But anyway, they have kind of gaps in them, and there's like energy pulsing inside, and in the animation, particles fly out too. So I mean, they're pretty. I mean, it's kind of a nice effect. It does kind of look interesting, I think. I hope. I should hope anyway. I should hope. So anyway. sometimes when I'm drawing these, I'll have a flash of inspiration, and what I'm working on, I'll trash because I have decided that I've got a better idea. And so far, that has not happened today. Oh, you'll know if it happens. Trust me. Woo. Anyway, it's not bad so far. Alrighty, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's kind of get rid of some of these extraneous lines that we don't need anymore. There we go. Oops, grab the pen. It's fine. We'll own it. There we go. No, I don't need that one on there. And some of these particle-y things. That will probably be a brush effect. This is more or less just kind of for my own personal reference for later. Okay. All right. And yeah, that's pretty good. All right, we're going to leave her exactly right there. Okay. We're going to do all the pencils all on one layer, but each element will be on its separate layer. Actually, she'll have an ink layer, and then she'll have a flat colored layer, and then she'll have highlights and shadows. And that will be placed into a file folder over here, and that way each character can be moved around when I change the orientation from portrait to landscape for the YouTube cover. So, pro tip. All right, let's go back into here, and let's take this. I'm going to use the ink line right here just to kind of make sure that I'm getting the curve right. All right, make sure that we've got that finalized in a perfect way. Ah, there it is. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, well, that's one element here. All right, let's review. I did have Smar's face originally kind of in there. That's when she was much, much larger. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to the Smar in the background biggishly. Mm-hmm. But he'll be cut off not only by her, but also the fact that we have two. These guys are the smart bots. He's basically his robot minions. They are actually quite adept, and that's why he's probably maintained his underworld control of the underworld of Torakanka, I should say. Yes, it's an official government, but you know he gets things done. So, and there are propulsion system here, this energy beam is heavily inspired by the quintessence of Transformers G1. Uh, Although it's very lightning-esque here, this illustration, but in the actual animation, it's going to be a lot more round pulses coming out and hitting the ground. Almost Jetson-esque, I guess. And I had thought that the Quintessons had done this a lot. I had that in my mind, and when I was going back and reviewing things, because I didn't want my animation to be, too close to that, I found that actually that only happens in like one scene of one episode. Those are these little circles pulse out of the bottom and hit the ground. And I was like, oh, well, heck. So that's what I'll do. So that's kind of what I've done for the actual episode itself. So it's just kind of like for illustrator purposes, because it's kind of neater this way. I'll really sharpen those in the inking phase. Pencils sometimes can be a little soft, roundishly. Well, that's how it goes. All right. All right. There we go. Bam. So here we have Smarth and his minions. All right, so we're going to have our heroes being menaced from down here. Look at my previous attempt here. One moment. That's not bad. Okay, let me redo that. Just, well, no, actually, I think I can make this work. Okay, so we'll put Indavo there. Rachel here. Guarantee kind of behind them. behind. And then I can place A1 here. And then we'll put ready. That's your head. Here. Now, the person I don't have on here is Van Graff, who is in this episode. He's just having a really bad day because he has to go talk to Dad. It comes out that Van Graff is actually the son of the... spoiler. I'm sorry. Son of the Emperor of the Sword, Dagon. But his mom is not the Empress. Ooh. Actually, it was probably from a previous... arrangement that Dagon had before he married the current Empress. So he does have a half brother, but his half brother's like 4 or 5 or something like that. Quite young. So, but I don't think we're going to quite get to that in this episode. So, all right. So we've got a lot of things going on here, and this is going to get complicated and then I get an inking phase. So I'm going to just leave that for right now as is. So I'll see what I'm doing there, but this is going to really complicate. I'm going to leave that. We're going to keep going on with our heroes. Let's get in close and tighten up the heroes quite a bit here. So this is the introduction of the standard Indavo and Rachel orange jackets, which have been in the series since it originally started back in 2003, starting with Chapter 4 when they arrived at Altoro. They are Union. A-U-R. Union. Okay. Anyway, I've had them modeled out for quite some time. I just have not used them because they've been on the ship. They've been in their armor, as we saw them in Prideful, or they've been on the ship, and they're basically their t-shirts. Because hey, what's the point of having a ship if you cannot keep the climate control right? To be bundled up on your ship? What's good is that? I mean, that's ridiculous. It's also the kind of their home. I always like to think of the Adventure as kind of like an RV that can do hyperspace. Keeping in mind that he's got his jacket on. This is a mess. My pencils are terrible. I used to always be kind of embarrassed by them. And then I saw Hayao Miyazaki's pencils, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, it's not... It's a finished product with battles. So the making of the sausage, can be really messy. But, as long as the sausage looks good on the counter, that's all. Gotta get it there, So my pencils are a mess. I applaud people who are tight pencilers a lot. I mean, I do. I think they're great. I am not one of them. Probably why greatness has eluded me. I'm terrible with my pencils. Ugh. These things up quite a bit, huh? Yeah, well. Ah, well. That head's going to be a little bit large for that buddy. Let's take a look at this. Okay, let's redo that head just a slight bit here. The problems. Proportionality can be a problem. I don't say I don't draw as much as I used to. Well, I don't do a webcomic 3 pages a week like I used to. I'm still drawing quite a bit though, but right now I've been drawing quite a bit, but it's been storyboard sketches, so they're all done with kind of pen and ink. With no pencils, so it's kind of all very kind of modern gestorial storyboards, I guess you could call them. For episode 4, I should say. Definitely working ahead. Episode 3 storyboards have been done for quite some time, since last year actually. Worked ahead quite a bit. Now I'm just basically, I haven't started animating 3 yet, so still 2 episodes ahead. So as I begin animating 3, I've got to work on 5. Major rewrites in 6 and 7. I've kind of reconceptualized in my mind kind of what I wanted to do at the end of the series, and I had something down there, and it's kind of very, it was kind of a little bit standardy, I'd say, but I wanted to kind of do something a bit different, and something probably wouldn't crash out my computer's capabilities when I'm trying to render it. But gonna push things to the max as much as I can. Try and deliver a cohesive and satisfying ending to a storyline that and hopefully we'll have watched. Love. Okay, so woo. Let's get Rachel here. Now Rachel's head is too large because I shrunk his head down. I can redo her head just a little bit here. All right. Okay, so what am I working on tablet-wise? Well, I have a Huion tablet, and I have used the Huion and the Wacom tablets both, and I have a Wacom 1 at the office where I work, and let me tell you, I really cannot tell much of a difference. Both are very top-notch tablets and really good. So it's just a matter of what your budget is, but don't feel like you are going for a second-rate tablet if you say, well, I would rather get a Huion because they're a little bit less expensive. It's a quality product. Okay, well, she's behind him, but her hand doesn't matter. Let's shrink that down a little bit. There we go. All right. Now, the last one, what I had done is I had scanned in when I was working on episode 2's promo. I'd scanned in the previous my comp drawing, my rough drawing that I had done on the sketchbook, and I just wasn't really happy with the results there, how that kind of all looked and everything. So I decided that this time I was going to redraw it, kind of from scratch here, and trying to get. And see if that would be better. And so far, I kind of like how things are going right now. So definitely has expanded out the scope of it that I originally had. And actually, I've just kind of taken the two versions and ended up smushing them together. Yeah, both were pretty good in my mind, but still, wouldn't have done that if I just scanned it and was just tracing, doing the inking over the original sketch. So that's how it goes. So, all right, we're getting pretty close to having this wrapped up enough that I can. All right, so. There we go. It's not bad. It's gonna get these out of here. I just drew over all of that. It's just an incomprehensible mass of pencils. So let's kind of this a little bit here. There we go. That's a little bit more, because when I get to inking phase, I'll be like, what have I drawn? What was I intending to do? Oh my gosh. Well, I remember. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's no problem. Like a green effect thing later. All right, guaranteed it's going to be a little bit just kind of a little bit more nondescript back here. Might do them as one, and so I tend to do the group these guys on one layer because the composition's not going to change much whenever I put into landscape. Everyone else is going to shift around, but they're not. They're going to remain basically where they're at. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that. So I kind of tend to put these guys on one layer on the inking phase. No, on one layer on the pencil phase, that's for sure. But there's no need to break them up. So if you too are out there in the snow, watching it come down, might I recommend some movies or TV shows that reflect the snowy weather. Of course, there is John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982, a prime snow movie, and also the 1950s version, The Thing from Another World, also very good too. Also very good, yes. And on that vein, if you're wanting to go down that vein, the first two episodes, especially of Doctor Who: Seeds of Doom, take place in the Arctic in the snow, as well. I guess Planet of the Ood would be another one. With David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And of course, there's Empire Strikes Back because of its Hoth scenes. Who can forget that? Die Hard 2. If you're snowed at an airport right now and watching this and want to feel like you're snowed in at an airport, there's Die Hard 2, which is also a Christmas movie, but not as well known as Die Hard 1. It does feel like it is made out of the same cloth. Die Hard 3 doesn't really feel like it's, made out of the same material that Die Hard 1 and 2 are. So, but at least in the second one, it does kind of feel that way. Ooh, that character's going to need a lot of work to clean up. But we'll worry about cleaning up that later. All right, so for right now, I am going to go ahead and take a look at the Randy drawing that I had on the first one. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of really just kind of put in right here. It's going to be very basic. I'll go back and redraw in all the main features once I get the inking done on that guy. So we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Desert waste. Here we're gonna put a little crater, and we're gonna put a little bit of Turakanka City right here, and she will probably have a spacey background behind her, and that spacey background there may be some very evil eyes of the dark form that halts them all. Whoa, okay, here's the pencils. Very rough pencils. Very, very rough. Okay, so let's take that down a skosh. 41's pretty good. All right, we're going to put a new layer in here, and we're going to call that ink. Oh, there we go. I'm going to call this... No, we're just going to call it inks. Okay. A new file folder, and we're going to rename that. All right, so start with her. Put that in there. Okay, so now we're ready to begin the job of inking. So let's begin with the eyes. Okay. I can't really do that. Ooh. Reduce size of my eraser to something a little bit more manageable. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just going to start inking. There we go. Those are much too thick in my penciling. Sometimes that happens. Right. Originally, she did have dangly earrings. I changed those in the animation model because the dangly earrings became a little bit much. Honestly, it was overkill. But this happens. Sometimes you have to make changes in your animation models. Now, my art style, anyway, is kind of very not like super detailed. I've always kind of thought it was kind of aping, quite honestly, what Bruce Timm had done in Batman animated series. I tried to keep things from getting too complicated. Guarantees, of course, really complicated, but primarily I don't have pour a lot of detail in there because I always kind of had this idea about animation. So, and also I'm not doing a Western style comic, at least in Indavo, the first Indavo series. It became much more kind of Western-esque in the second iteration, at least illustration style wise. It was always kind of manga, still kind of manga-esque, I guess. Part 2 of Megazone 23, which is much more kind of representational, whereas Part 1 is much more kind of traditional anime style. For your 80s anime reference. Okay. A little bit of cleanup there. If you ink with vectors, the cleanup phases, the lines will click together a little bit better, but I don't know. It's not my bag, so I don't do it. Because I'm old-fashioned and hard-headed and set in my ways. Haha. All right, let's see what we got. Let's back that up. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. I don't like that shit in there. Now let's think about things a little bit. Let's back to pencil layer. I like the white beard. Let's go with the white beard. No. Let's kind of re-tackle this here on the pencil layer real quick here. Okay, that's a bit better. There we go. Yeah, I think that's okay. Raise that to here. And we'll do like one of these jelly bobs right there. And yes. It's not kind of necessary, as that's going to be pure black. But anyway, let's all right. The kind of the Black Widow double triangle thing cut out could be a hint or a red herring. We'll find out, I guess. Hey. It suggests danger. I mean, there are no Black Widows in this galaxy, probably, but it does suggest danger to the viewer. Pay attention to what they think. Play with the preconceptions? Possibly, but it could actually mean something. We're going to kind of do that type of thing right now. And let's clean up that a little bit. Okay. Ooh, did not follow that line close enough, did I? Nope. There you go, that's better. That up a little bit right there. Ooh, wow. There we go. There. Okay. Not bad. Straw fit, low cut. Yes, yes, it's very low cut in the front. Very suggestive. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, let's see here. Kind of clean these up a little bit. There we go. All right, let's go back out and take a look. And take the pencils away and see what we got. Hey, not bad so far. Bam. Okay. Let's work on getting these. Actually, let's get our hair fixed first. Finish up the head. Let's go. Mm-hmm. To a point. Clean up that a little bit there. That's not bad. There we go. Oh, see, this is how I do things. You may have better success with your own methods, and I encourage that. That's how you should be doing it. Find something that works for you. Everyone's a little bit different artistically, and there's no one method for doing it right, I would say. There we go. Look. Yeah, it's pretty good. We're going to go with it. All right. Let's get to a thicker pen to really accentuate the musculature. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And pump that out a little bit. Don't worry about that too much right there. It's going to be covered by black, but still, old habits die hard. Did a film noir comic by the name of Seamus Stone, which is based on all the old film noir movies. Drew a tremendous amount of detail, and then I covered up with black. So, how you do it in film noir comics, I guess. But anyway, but Sean Martinborough did a very, very good book on it, film noir comics, and that was his thing. It's like, oh yes, you draw this detail, and then you cover it up with black ink. So I took that to heart, and you know what? I kind of agree with him completely. To be honest. There we go. I'm going to get the rest of that weapon later. Oops, shoot. A little bit better. There we go. See here. This one right about there. I do like digital inking. You can, correct things pretty easy, but you can also get in, I think, sometimes too close. And I think that can be a detriment when you can't see the hole. But see, yeah, making it worse. Let's just skip it and keep the line consistent there. Checking out the window, it looks like the snow is still very, very fine. So it looks like we've probably got about another hour and a half before the really thick, heavy stuff hits. Now I'm competing with Ryan Hall, y'all. Woo! Actually, no, but anyway. Now that I've these lines a little bit, kind of give me a little bit more of a look to it. There we go. Okay, yeah, all right. Things are kind of pretty good right now. That chin up a little bit, put that shadow right about to there, there, there. Very good. All right. All right, so whoop, take that back down to 10. Match up somewhat to the other side. All right. Okay, well, there we go. Getting the weapons here knocked out really. Lightsaber-esque, you say? Well, I mean, they do expand from a closed version where the all the metal will click together, kind of shorter. But no, they don't. They're exactly lightsabers. They don't cut through things. So, let's see what we've got in our line tool. Let's go back down to 7. Nope, too small. 8. Oh, 10? Okay. Because of pressure sensitivity, your line tool does not use the exact same size as your pen tool, so you've got to be careful trying to get them to line up. That turns out to be okay. I did see one channel where the gentleman was doing anime work and was using on inking phase for his cells the curved line tool completely, because it gave you a nice smooth line without any judder that sometimes you get with the inking. No, that's great and all. I personally like to think that I am better with an ink pen than I am with the tablet. But That's because I'm more used to that. I like the feeling of the paper resistance. Although I've got an overlay on my pen tablet monitor, which gives you that nice kind of papery resistance to it. So I don't know what I'm complaining about. Okay. Well, anyway, there. I'm not going to put the little sparkly bits on there for the effects, particle effect. Nah, we'll do that. Yikes! Grab the wrong thing. Oops. All right. Let's get closer and make it a bit easier. All right, there we go. Not bad, not bad. Okay, turn off the pencil, see what we got. Hey, what do you know? There we go. Not bad. Okay, so there is one ink of one character. Well, tell you what I'm gonna do. Since it's gonna take quite some time to do the entire thing, I am gonna go ahead and put down the flats. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a new layer and drag that layer underneath the inks. Okay, there we go. Go to our ink layer. We're going to do select all, grab our tool here, and we're going to hide that pencil layer right now because we do not need it at this moment. So we're going to hold down on the Alt key, and that will give us the minus. That will subtract everything there, and we'll subtract everything outside. And don't forget that little piece that's blocked in by the hair. Okay, so now we're going to go to layer. What we're going to do, her primary color is red. So usually I would say primary color, a neutral color, but in this case, since her primary color is red, that is what we're going to put right here. Pow. And we're going to call this layer flats. Ka-chow. All right. Let's go ahead and get the other bits of color that we need on her now. So let's deselect, go back up to the ink layer. I'm going to choose the magic wand selection tool, quick selection tool. We're grabbing all the areas that are going to be black. And those are it. Okay, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go to the black setting, drop that in, and ooh. Nope. Well, I had this set right. where you could just click on one and they'd all fill out. But alas, it didn't quite work that way. And I missed a spot. I tell you what. Right there. On a finger. I'm just gonna plop that in there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so usually do the black and the white area. Ooh. Black and the white area. I'm just going to use the lasso tool on these guys. And it'll be okay. Into the line there. All right, select the white area and fill that thing right there. And that's our teeth showing. Okay, so she got white's not everyone on this in this galaxy does, but she does. Students tend to have different colors instead of whites for their eyes. Maybe due to the exposure to core crystals. Who knows? All right. Let's get some blue hair on this lady. It was purple at one time, but I decided the purple was still too close to the red. I needed the complementary opposing color on the triangle, yada, yada, yada. You know how color theory works. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. But I was like, yeah, fine. I did like the purple, but I ended up going the blue because I thought that was much more striking because of the contrast. So, you know, color theory does work. That's why it's there. It's not a dyed hair too. It's just her natural hair color. She does have red skin, for crying out loud. So, anyway. There we go. Okay. And also, she has lipstick that matches her hair color. Really brings out her eyes. Actually, her eyes are goldenrod, so I'm just making stuff up. But that's my job! Haha! Anyway. There'll be some highlighting on here that I'll do later. Not going to worry about that at the moment. Okay, so now we have the weapons. Let's get the flats on these weapons going here. Okay, the energy doodad here has got a yellowishy tint to it, so I'm going to put that into there. So the lightest yellow that I've got so far. And we've got the area not covered by the everything's going to have a slightest greenish tint to it. Okay. Groovy. Gotta take this one, and I've got to go into the color mixer. Let's go to green. Right about there. Ciao. All right. And there we go. That is Celexis. Her inks and her flats. Ready for action. Menacing our heroes. So let us go ahead and move on to the background. Still more background elements. We'll go right behind her to the big guy himself, the big blue meanie, Smoth. So we're going to do a new layer. We're going to call this one. We did about pencils, though. I'm also going to call this one inks as well. And we're going to put a new file folder here, and we'll call that file folder Smarth. And we're going to draw him out. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide her, because we don't kind of need that at the moment. And I have to try and focus if I can. Just on the Smarth himself. So he's going to have a little bit more of a... Let's see. Should I amp that up? I'm going to amp that up a little bit more. Let's go to 30. There we go. And we're going to put his nose over here, because it will be over here. But it'll be over here too, I suppose. But largely be hidden by her. So we're going to there to there to there. And what we're going to do in order to make this work right is we're going to make sure that this is all capped off. We're going to cap him off right through here. And it'll help a little bit in the blending areas. We can still mask it off if I needed to. I kind of like to just go ahead and do it this way if I need to, or does not have a line there. You can do like a line there, maybe. It's completely superfluous, it won't show. So never mind, we're not doing a line there. That would be stupid. Why write a line there? All right, so sometimes I do circles, but what we're going to do is we're going to do just eyes. Give it a little bit more of an organic feel to it. Ooh, clean up a little bit there on those lines. And let me push that in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not bad. I do see something I want to correct real quick. A little bit of overlap. That's a little bit too much. To shave a little bit off there and take that down to here. And we're just going to run that right to there. Zoom out just a skosh. And there we go. Hey, what do you know? It is the Smarth. And again, just for S's and G's, let's go ahead and do the flats. Hey, I just feel like we're making some progress today. Hey, you know? All right. Go ahead and make another layer. Still in the Smarth folder. Flats. All right. All right, select all. And we're going to go to inks and yeah, that looks about right. Flats. Okay. He's got a little bit of a darker complexion than her does. She does on that. Not that dark though. I'm gonna have to click on this, and I'm gonna have to bring it down just a little bit for a little bit of differentiation, because her hair might get lost in his blue immenseness. Oh, look at that. Okay, well, the rest of his details are pretty easy to lock down. So going back to the ink layer, hit Control D for deselect. Blamp, blamp. Okay, so holding down the Shift key to add to my selection, which I've not been saying that. I'm sorry, but you know what? I got kind of wrapped up in the drawing bit. That happens. Ha ha. All right, hey, we got some eyes. Yeah, it's not bad. So let's turn these guys on. Bow. Okay, hey. All right, now we got to hide both of them, and we're going to do the smart bots. Now, question mark. Should I do the same smart bot and flip him and put him on the other side? I might not. No, I don't think so. We're going to draw two separate ones. They'll have to be on separate layers, obviously. Okay, well, anyway. That's just the way it goes. All right, so next up is our smart bots. They are above smart Selexus. So let's go to here and we're going to put down, change that over to inks again. And we're going to enter. And we're going to hit new folder and double click on that. It's easier if you got your mouse. I'm using a pen for the pen tablet to do that. So it's a little, anyway, we're going to call this smart bot 1. No, I don't know. Left or right, we don't know yet. I forgot what I'm going to do first here. So we're going to say, all right. I am going to go back to black. Back to the pen. I'm going to go to no. We're not going to go to black. We are going to go to yellow. Yeah. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go to black. In fact, we're going to, since this is a robot that has a very smooth curve to it, I probably should do the curve line tool. Like so. So basically you just drag and hold down till we get where you need to go, and then it comes to the curvy part, and you just kind of curve it to how you need it. Technically, I guess I could do the entire inking this way if I needed a consistent line, just like the gentleman who was doing the anime cell work. You may hear a snowplow coming roaring by. Pay it no mind. Now we must turn the other way. Alas. Well, it's not super quiet and super loud. Let's go ahead and change that back down to 12. Okay, so I'm going to put it here, and I'll clean that up just a little bit. Hold down the shift key to make a perfect circle inside. There we go. Bam. All right. Hey, not bad. All right, let's clean these guys up just a little bit here. Not too much, just a bit. Yeah, we'll do this regular line tool. Okay, so let's go back down to here. Square tool and circle tool for the bits of the eye. Hey, it's not bad. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of pin stuff on here, though. The idea that, hey, these guys are actually metal, you know? There we go. Not so bad, eh? All right. Okay. This is kind of why I can't flip it around, because I don't have any details on this arm, right? Yeah, there's an arm there, but what's it going to be doing? I don't. Ooh. Sorry, I missed my scroll bar and actually put a line over Selexis, which would have been bad because that would have showed up. But corrected that. Do this to kind of give it a little bit more depth. So it's not quite as flat. And right about to there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna go back over to here and see what we've got here. All right, first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the curve tool that I was using. I'm going to go 15. I'm going to go to here, and can I curve that around to fit into the arm arc that I have? Well, partially. All right, hey, there we go. That's not bad. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to do it there. To there. Huh. Okay. These 1950s robot segmentations. Bendy arms. Kind of very traditional. In a robotic sense, of course. No offense. Went over a little bit there. Sorry about that. Click that up. Clear that up in just a second. All right. All right, so what we've got is we've got that going on right there, and kapow. Links of the SmartBot in the SmartBot folder. That always would help. All right, let's get the flats ready for this right now. Okay. This guy's really easy to do. Well, yeah. I say real easy. Well, pretty easy anyway. Okay, well. Okay, so we're gonna do oh, dang it. Back to flats. How many times have I colored on the wrong layer? Many times. I don't think so far today, this evening or this afternoon, but I'm working on it. Give me some time. I'll make it happen. Save button. Save frequently. Lost data strikes us all. Okay. This guy's been about done actually. Oh, there's dang it. Dang it. Okay, let's get that eye under control here. All right, so they got a red eye. Not a late flight, but actually a red eye. Now, gosh, I put that ink in there, and you know what? I think these are just going to be white. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this ink, these inked lines off these shapes, and just leave the shapes that will be in gray. going to select the flats layer. Select each of these gray shapes. Put the white and flood fill out those guys. Wow. Hey, it's not bad. And if I wanted to add a little bit more on that white for some extra line doodads, we're going to do that right out. Don't be touching. All right, there we go. There we go. There, it adds a certain robot lensing. The shapes shapes depending on what mode the smart bots are in. If they're in aggression mode, they've got different pattern. All that has been set up on the animation model. Quite a bit of the resources are done. I'm right now working on, well, beginning to work. I'd be working on it if not on this promo poster. The interior of Smar's Azure Ferret establishment, where our heroes will see the floor show that Selexis will be putting on and meet with Smar in search of parts to repair their ship. That was damaged in episode 2. Oh, I guess that's a spoiler. They get away. Ooh, I bet you could not see that coming. Oh, I'm so original. Breathtakingly original. But sometimes it's okay to cheat. What we're going to do is we're going to hit the right click and we're going to do a duplicate that layer. Okay. And we're going to go underneath edit and we're going to go transform and we're going to go to horizontally. And we're just going to move him right over here. I know I said I probably wasn't going to do it, but I ended up cheating. You know, I cheat a lot. Janji Manabe, the Japanese artist of the series Outlanders, what it's called. Dark Horse published it in the 80s. Probably about 90 here in the United States, would draw an exquisite drawing of one of the alien capital ships. And then he would approximately photocopy that like 5 billion times by scale it down and paste it all in. So I do not feel bad at all. No regrets. All right, so see what we... yes, I want to apply that. Sorry about that. Okay, so there, hey, there's the top part of the poster. That's not looking bad. What we're going to do now is we are going to do A1, and then we're going to work on that ratty drawing. We're going to make another pencil layer. And go from there. But first, let us hide everyone we've got so far. So, even above Selexis with the inks for A1, everyone's favorite Sulan servitor droid or robot. I can't say droid. Sorry. Oh no, Disney is going to sue. Robot. Fun fact about that, I originally had the idea that servitors would being ballbots would probably lock into like a battle frame system and assist the Sulans in like shipboardings and stuff like that. But every design I come up to looked extremely Dalek-y, and I could not get the Dalek boarding of Resurrection of the Daleks out of my mind, especially in book format. Really quite good. So I've kind of dropped that. That might come into it later. I don't know. We'll have to see what whenever if our heroes should actually reach Sul. I don't know. They may never reach Sul. They may never come up. Who knows? Yes, I'm going to spoil everything if you listen to this. So if you're listening to it and don't want to know, I'll just keep listening. It's fine. You can act surprised. Oh, and you'll probably forget, since it's going to be years before I get out to that part of the story. Anyway, the wrong thing. Sorry. Let's get the hand. Sometimes I miss what I'm aiming for. because I'm not looking at it, but out of the corner of my eye. It's important to look at the things you're aiming at. Indeed. Okay. Anyway, all the servitors are voiced by one gentleman, Mike Sheldon, who does an amazing job. He gave A1 and B1 different cadences, which is really nice, even though they're basically just all the same mass-produced droid. I thought that was a nice touch. Not in the script. But he made it happen, so, you know, that's great. Okay, well, let's go ahead and put the black down in the ink layer just to kind of save a little bit of time later. There we go. Okay, back to our pen tools. And guys, there we're going to go. Also, going to go ahead and color these guys in black as we are waiting. So, bam, there we go. All right, one Bulbot. The proper term, Bulbot. I didn't say the D word. I never said the D word. Flash forward to Disney playing this at the trial. Ooh, ooh. Well. I apologize profusely. Alright, we're going to do the flats on... Ooh, well, I have stuff. I'm on the ink layer when I try and subtract away from that. Needs a little bit of a darker color. A lot of highlights on the animation model, though. I think that gives it a very spherical quality. I'm really pleased with how that all came out. I bet you're wondering right now, is he ever going to get any new music for... Yes. I will make some new background art stream music at some time. It'd take a good 15 minutes to do. I'm very, very busy. Maybe not that busy. Okay, so we're gonna do a new layer. We're just gonna we'll call it, we're gonna call it Ratty Pencils. All right. Okay, we're gonna go over here. Okay, so let's... The back of Reddy's head, which is not visible here, has that C shape to it, but originally it was just like a kind of like the hair was just pulled back and it kind of almost formed like a ponytail, but not quite. I thought the C shape was wildly impractical, anime style hair, typical type stuff, but it gave her a very distinctive silhouette. And they always say to have your animated characters have a distinct silhouette. So that's the key to success. So I kind of kept it on a lark. I had done it as kind of this kind of like anime style version of Ratty. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep that in the main version of her character model. So I changed that over. In fact, there's a video when I'm kind of showing like a progress report on the models. You'll see Ratty's earlier hairstyle on that. Let's see Ratty's expression this morning. It wasn't where I wanted, but I felt it was too good to erase. slashes in, and hey, there we go. That's much kind of better. Better feeling about this version. This pencil here. Things were kind of getting a little, perhaps. Should the live stream end abruptly, we have been notified that there is a chance, small chance, that there could be, due to the high energy demand, rolling blackout. So if this stream just suddenly ends without anything announced or thanking you for watching or anything like that, just know that, hey, it was beyond my control. But right now, everything has been fine. So, I'm hoping that's going to continue, because that would definitely suck a lot. So... Checking the model to see how this necker scarf thing that they wear comes up to it. I'll figure out the exact script that I've got that down later. We'll worry about that another time. Okay, there we go. Add those pencils. Take a look at this ratty. All right, hey, that ratty's coming together pretty nicely. Let's add a little bit more detail here. Not bad. Okay. Okay. Let's turn that down to about there. And go to the top of the list and hit another ink layer. New layer. I'm going to call that one inks as well. They get jumbled up. I'm screwed. That's why we can make file folders. I'll call that ratty. That may be too thick when I compare that to the rest of the... Yeah, I like it, but it doesn't fit in with the rest of what I've done so far, so let's bring that back down. All right. There we go. That up. All right, hey, got to make sure that ink is closed up. All right, here's going to be her headband. The top of her hair is going to go out like that. When it does not hit the edge, it'll still select. All righty, onto the face. Let's get them eyes. Don't intend to use the circle shape tool on the eyeballs. Just a personal preference. Totally can if you want to. It's up to you. Clip Studio Pro is a really, really robust illustration software, though, as you probably could tell. I'm probably not using it to its full potential. Ha ha ha! Because I'm old and set in my ways. Your mileage will vary. I like it better than Procreate. Procreate is a very guided experience, you know. I don't know. I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like there's a lot of growth. But thing is, there a lot of growth in my art? Maybe I've stagnated. I probably have. It's okay. We all go at our own pace and have our own likes and dislikes. So if you like Procreate and it gets you drawing, use Procreate. Absolutely. Personally, it's not my bag. The snowplow. I don't know if you heard that. Rumble by. Oh, shoot. I keep... it's gonna add in her fangs. The fangs are a very prominent thing with the Malarans and the Sulans. Ooh, do they have a common ancestry? Ooh, well, maybe. I don't know. Both have gray skin, pointed ears, and fangs. Their eyes are different, but you know, evolution could have separated them out over the millennia. It's entirely possible. Okay, looks like we have one cargo handler first class. Not been established in the series, but it's always been kind of headcanon for me, so I guess that does make it canon, right? I'm in the crater. That ship's probably served on the front lines, and after being wounded, was reassigned as a cargo handler. That's kind of what I always thought. That's why she's a little, capable. I'm not saying Louise isn't capable. She's capable in her own way, as we all are. Now, I will say, when I was animating the first episode and was working with Louise's model, I liked it so much that I almost switched Randy and Louise's model, because I just really liked how Louise's hair and other facial expressions really came together and worked in the animation process. But I was like, this is all set up this way, and now it'd be weird to change things out. Have Randy stay on the ship and Louise get lost in space and be picked up by our heroes. Sure, why not? Maybe I'll do an alternate history take on that. Okay, let's get rid of those pencils. And let's get some flats layers in here. Latas. Put those under there. Okay, let's do a select all. Make sure we're on the ink layer when we hit the shift key and tap, and that will shake us all down to, hey, it actually worked this time. All right. All right. One second. There we go. Let's take this over to here. right, here we go. I had to find the warm gray color that the ones actually are. Yeah. Okay, let's get those. Well, I was gonna say get those eye whites, but guess what? Her eyes are not white. Oh no, he's got green, light green, and then dark green. So that's okay. Everyone's a little bit different. Oh, let's go ahead and take that out too. Clean up these lines a little bit that I didn't. Yikes. Yikes! That's fine. Alright, let's get those teeth though. Leonids also have fangs, but of course, pronounced canine teeth. But they are kind of based on lines. So, leonine mesomorphs, I believe is the proper term. What, the Therals from Doctor Who, Warrior's Gate? Yeah, well, you know, they are called leonine mesomorphs in that too. That's kind of strange. Pure a coincidence, I'm sure. There we go. All right, green. Going over there a little bit. Let's All right, clean that up a little bit. All right, let's get those. There are white bits on her eyes though. Got these blobby highlights. Popular in animation models. Okay. Snow outside is blowing pretty heavily, but it's still very powdery, so. Things, I believe, continue at pace. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and get her name badge and collar and scarf and rolled up sleeve area. Those are also Blanco. Blanc. And her jumpsuit is red. Let's go ahead and handle that right now. So ones have have cool ships. I mean, cool colored ships, and then they have warm uniforms. Kind of go with their warm gray. Whereas the Malarians and the Empire of the Sword have very red-orange interiors of their ships, and they wear the cool color uniforms, so to match their skin color, being cool gray. So there you go. A little bit of color usage there in Indavo. All right, so we got some hair we gotta do here. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna use the mouse again. Let's be more on the brown side of things. Yellow. There it is. Okay. Perfect. And we have just a little bit more to go here. And there we go, man. Okay, let's take a look at everyone. See what we've got here. Hey, that's not bad. Okay, let's go up to paper. We're gonna go here. We're gonna hit this. This is gonna be the do background. All right, and we're just gonna go select our black. We're gonna hit the flood fill. We're just gonna fill that in black. All right, hey, so it's all coming together quite nicely. Check the time. Ooh, it is after 5 o'clock. Well, I think this is where we're going to leave it for today. I still have to do the take the pencils of our heroes, of our intrepid heroes here, and ink those guys up, get them to mix, and do some other background elements. But for the most part, this is coming together quite nicely, and I hope that everyone has enjoyed it. So if you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. And I will see you in the next stream, or in the meantime, you can always check out the Indavo episode 1 and 2, which are now on YouTube.